Okay. Representative Carter, if you got a question.
Okay, thank you. It wasn't necessary for him. I kind of read through this, and I heard you, and I'm sympathetic to the business owners. But what I was understanding with this legislation is that we were trying to address the lookalike products, um, and the intent seemed to want to protect the least of those that can make those decisions, like our kids. And again, you just educated me that you can buy these in regular stores. So, is there a way to address some of the concerns that have just been brought to us from the businesses that are operating that are not necessarily in the stream of the lookalike products? Because a lot of times we do pass legislation, there are unintended consequences we have to come back and fix. So is there anything that's been shared that we can address now? Because I do believe that this is an issue that we need to move some legislation on, but at the same time, how do we not get the businesses caught up like what we're hearing today? Because I'm trying, because I'm with you. Again, I'm not a gummy person, but I want to be able to make sure we making a good decision here today.
So, I think, first of all, that's,
Go ahead.
thank you for the question. I think I would like to start with start my remarks with just highlighting that of the concerns that were voiced, not all of them are applicable to this law, right? So beyond that, uh, it was said that this law is, or that this bill is restrictive, and that's accurate. It's restrictive. It's meant to be. Um, Currently, you guys have probably all heard the adage that the law follows, it never leads. And so in this instance, we have an emerging market that's been completely unrestricted. And our intention is to put some regulation on it. Um, I understand that some of the repackaging expenses are something to think about. There's already a delayed effective date, but that probably would be a conversation that we're definitely willing to have with some of the speakers moving forward. But as far as it being over restrictive and stifling, this is pretty narrowly defined. Um, if eh, if you can't compete, it means essentially, according to this bill, that you're selling product that's attractive to kids, or you're selling product that's outside the legal limit, or you want to advertise as a low THC dispensary. And so I think some of the comments that maybe weren't tailored specifically to those restrictions, because this is very narrow. But we are very much interested in restricting access to children.
So, one question with what you just said. So, is it a possibility, Chairman, or to maybe extend the effective date? To your point, these retailers that have products, first of all, put something in place to make sure the kids aren't getting them in time to relieve themselves of these products and
Well,
repackage.
I think we have to split it between two things, right? Like there may be like the packaging that we saw displayed here. I don't know that that would necessarily qualify as attractive to children. So that's not problematic. That could probably be pushed out. However, the things that are purposefully being put out there for children, I think we probably shouldn't extend the effective date on that. So it's probably something we would have to work through later.
Okay. I think we've discussed this bill pretty thoroughly, and thank you, Representative Cannon, for bringing this bill. Thank you, Ms. Russell, for your work on this hemp bill and the others that really go along with it, and many other Representative Corbett and others who have worked through the years on these bills. And the author of the bill would like to, if you could go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you just Google, children overdose on THC gummies, you'll find all kind of news stories. Just 5 years, the number of small children in the U.S. exposed to cannabis after accidentally eating an edible rose 1,300%. A new study says. 2-year-old allegedly overdoses on THC gummies, police say. This is just a quick Google. Virginia mother pleads guilty in 4-year-old son's death from THC gummies. More children than ever are overdosing on marijuana edibles, report from Connecticut. So just Google that. You'll see enough news sources to read some more info yourself on it.
Okay, I've got 9:40. We've got a session coming up. It's crossover week, and we can come back in here. I think we've got room reservations on Wednesday, and if y'all would like to come at 7 a.m., you certainly welcome to. Or we can try to come try to make a decision here today. Do I hear any motion from the committee? I've got a motion. Do I hear a second? I've got a couple other questions from the committee. Representative Thomas.
Thank you, Chairman. So, I mean, just quickly, because I know time is of the essence, I'm just still back at that same question. And we've heard from business owners today, and we know that we've been carrying this title, the number one place to do business. And we've heard some of our business owners saying how it would directly affect them in packaging and the monies that they would have to put out to repackage. I'm still at the issue of relating that back to the business owners about them having to repackage or spend additional monies. I mean, I understand the bill. I support the bill in essence of what it's saying, of trying to curtail an issue with children, but it's inadvertently affecting another portion or segment of CBD business owners at the same time.
Representative Thomas, this bill is also, remember, going to go over to the Senate, and where it's going, I'm sure, going to have lots of Senate input into it, and we can certainly, I know the department can certainly work with them and others as this makes through the process. So, Kathy, you want to speak to that question, though?
I will. Is it okay? Is it appropriate? Is it appropriate for me to be okay?
Yes,
I just wasn't sure what our procedural posture was. So, firstly, the effective date right now for packaging is in October. So, any product that's not sold between now and October would have to be addressed. We just had conversations about potentially extending that date. So products shouldn't have to be repackaged unless it's sitting on the shelf for an extended period. Does that make sense?
It does, but, and Chairman, I take your comments that we'll do some work on this in the Senate. Thank you.
Be happy to.
Representative Carter, you got another question?
Well, yeah, because your first question was whether before someone moved to make the motion reading Wednesday. So let me just go on record. I would love to support this bill, but if we vote right now, I'm going to have to vote no. But if we meet Wednesday, and truly, I do not want to come here at 7 a.m. in the morning, but I will. But that gives us another day another 2 days to really get an understanding how it's really affecting the folk. And if this bill doesn't affect the people that are in the room, that gives us a chance to really talk to them. Because I want to be able to vote yes today, but if we vote right now, I'm gonna have to vote no. And I'd rather sacrifice and come here Wednesday morning, Jesus, at 7 a.m. And give us a chance to work through this. So that was just my comment on where we are right now.
Okay, thank you. I do want you to vote yes on this bill, and but I do have a motion. I do have a second. So what, Representative?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So what is our options if we don't come Wednesday at 7? What other options do we have to go ahead and vote for this today?
That's the motion, is to vote it today. I got a motion second to do that. I really don't Representative Carter, I really don't, what changes would you want to the bill? I mean, I'm trying to figure that out.
I can't answer that for you today because my concern is the concern of the business owners that have come and shared some things, and and if what I just heard from the testimony, what their concerns are isn't really in this bill, but another day or two to talk to them, to have them to understand what's really in this bill, and if there's something in here that does affect them, then that gives us a chance to hear that. Now, if we had heard their testimony last week, then we could address it over the weekend and we'd be ready to vote today.
I kind of.
Okay, we're out of time,
Mm.
and I think we'll come back Wednesday and vote this bill. Look for a notice from me for this bill, and we'll take this up on Wednesday. Okay, thank you. Meeting adjourned.
I gotta run the rules.
Hey, you're still here. Well, then please comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.